And welcome to Hopkins High School for a non-conference baseball game today featuring the Totino Grace Eagles visiting the Hopkins Royals. I am Jay Wilcox along with Drew Keogh, and Drew, a little bit of a rough go of late for Hopkins. They've had a tough schedule. They started 4-1 but have dropped 8 straight, and obviously they're looking at this as a chance to try and get back in the win column against a pretty decent opponent here today.
Yeah, when you play in a conference that has 2 of the top teams in state, you know, they're on your schedule middle part of the season. Nothing you can do about that record. You just got to hope you work out some kinks and find a good lineup that'll kind of gear you up towards a section run. But 4-9 is a tough stretch, tough record, and we've had a tough couple of weeks, consecutive losses here.
Nola Nielsen will lead it off for Totino Grace, followed by Kyle Halverson, the shortstop. Jens Radicek, the catcher, hits third. Hunter Lindquist at first base. In the cleanup spot, Will Rogg, the DH. Then it's Nick Holton at third base, Ryan Johnson in left, Jacob Zerbe at second, and Ryan Hall, the right fielder for Mike Smith. And the Totino Grace Eagles, who come in at 10-5 and ranked in the top 10 in the new Class 4A. Here's the defense for Pat Berger and the Royals. Alex Schwartz, Matt Shaw, Morgan Holmes, Tommy Oth around the infield. Alex Bowers, John Cook, and Aaron Jensen in the outfield. Max Wiesner behind the plate, and doing the pitching today for Hopkins is right-hander Ben Willeen, and he has pitched some, not a huge amount, but he's done a decent job when he's been in there. 0-1 record, 2.33 earned run average in his limited amount of innings for the Royals this year. So both teams, you know, being a non-conference game, kind of going a little bit deeper into the rotation, kind of give them, you know, they felt pretty good about Ben coming into the year, and some other guys have kind of stepped up, and so he hasn't gotten maybe quite as much work as they expected when the season began, but still a guy that they feel pretty good about putting out there.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for the junior to get out there and play against one of the better teams in the Metro. And, you know, being a non-conference game, it's not crucial that you win the game, but you definitely want to win. You play to win the game, but you also get a chance to give some experience to starters who may not be your top starter of the day or your number 2 starter. Gives him a chance to show that he's worthy of being in the rotation. And when it comes to playoff time and postseason baseball, he can be a dependable, reliable arm out there and throw strikes when needed.
Yeah, 6 innings pitched on the year for Willeen, and this will be his 4th appearance as a pitcher for Hopkins. And stepping in to take first pitch is Nielsen. And looks at a strike there.
Good fastball down the inside part of the plate, a little tailing action on the inside of the hands for a right-handed hitter, a tough pitch to hit, and good pitch to get across the plate and even up the count.
Nielsen's average isn't too spectacular at 220, but he does have a 458 on-base percentage, 18 walks to lead the team, so obviously a guy with a good eye, and you want to see that at the top part of your order.
Yeah, you want to get on base any way you possibly can. It doesn't matter if it's a hit, a sacrifice, an error, a walk, hit batter, anything you can do, and that's, you know, as a leadoff batter, that's your responsibility.
Took that curveball there, tempting, but laid off it, and it's 2-2. Comes back fastball and strikes him out. So nice start here for Willeen for Hopkins, and Kyle Halverson will be the hitter for Totino Grace.
Yeah, good solid fastball right across the plate. You know, stay ahead in the count and gives you an opportunity to play with your pitches. And the previous pitch was a breaking ball off the plate, and you come back with a strike right across the plate and get the strikeout.
Halverson hitting at 304 on the year. Team high 12 runs scored. He's also driven in 9, has 1 home run. There's a strike. Not too far off from section play. These teams are not in the same section. Hopkins in section 6 and Totino Grace in section 5. Slaps it on the ground to second. Boy, that long grass really ate that one up, and the play made with no difficulty there by Morgan Holmes. I was thinking that it looked pretty thick, and we got a chance to see it right there. That ball just died in that infield grass.
Yeah, not a not a very solidly hit ball. It's off the inside part of the bat, so not too much power behind it. But when it got in that grass, that first bounce, it just kind of died. You give the second baseman an opportunity to kind of easily come in and make that play.
So Radicek will be the hitter now for the Eagles. He's hitting .250 this season. A couple of doubles. He's driven in 9. I'm guessing, coaches on the bench, especially for Totino, being that this is the visiting field for them, probably, letting him know, making note, see how much that grass is slowing it down. That affects your positioning a little bit. This one back up the middle, playable. And the out recorded there by Matt Shaw throwing across. Radicek is out, and the Eagles are done 1, 2, 3 in the first. No runs, no hits, and no one left on. So after a half inning, no score, and Hopkins getting set to come up for their first opportunity with the sticks. And John Cook will lead things off for Hopkins, their center fielder, and then Aaron Jensen in right field hits in the number 2 spot. Pitcher Ben Wallin will hit third, and it's Alex Schwartz at third base hitting in the cleanup spot. Tommy Oth, the first baseman, hits fifth. Morgan Holmes at second base, and it's Matt Shaw, the shortstop. Max Wiesner, the catcher, and Alex Bowers, the left fielder for Hopkins.
Yeah, it's, we talked about non-conference game. You want to get up there, and if you're at Hopkins, you want to see some pitches. And as we talked about earlier, it's not a crucial game. It's not a must-win game. You're not playing for a conference title, but you definitely want to get out there and see some pitches and get comfortable in the box and see how this pitcher throws and what kind of pitches he brings to the mound.
And there's a look at defensive setup for Totino Grace. Holton, Halverson, Zerbe, and Lundqvist around the infield. Ryan Johnson, Nielsen, and Hall in the outfield. Radicek behind the plate, and Nathan Eichten doing the pitching today. And similar to Wallin, he's thrown some but not a ton. He's worked 8 innings this year, a 1-0 record. He's pitched a total of 5 times previous to this. This is his second start. 1-0 and a 0.0 ERA, so not a big body of work on the varsity level, but so far so good for when he has pitched.
Can't beat that record and that ERA. It's as good as you can get, and you just get out there and throw strikes.
Talking with the Eagles coaches a little bit, and Don Roney, their pitching coach, and first thing he really mentioned with Eichten is he needs to keep the ball down. He's not an overpowering kind of guy, and want to be working around the knees rather than up, belt high. There's a strike.
Yeah, I saw this Eagle team a couple games ago against Champlain Park in a really good game between those two teams. And both pitchers for Totino just threw strikes. That's the thing they focused on, is they threw strikes right down the zone and got ahead in the count almost every batter.
Right back up the middle and snared easily there. Out recorded by Eichten, so one gone, and now Aaron Jensen will be the hitter for Hopkins.
Again, you see that grass eating up that ball. If that's hit on turf or just on dirt, that ball is bouncing up the box probably, but that grass eats it up. It's an easy play to get the first out of the inning for Totino Grace.
Kind of a nice way to work into it as the pitcher, too. I mean, other than maybe a strikeout, you couldn't ask for anything better, for the first batter to get a chance to handle the ball a little bit, kind of get the nerves out of the way, too. So Jensen, the batter now. He's hitting at .355 for the Royals. That's 4 doubles to his credit. Fouls another one away.
We'll see how Eichten does here, changing his pace of his. He doesn't seem to be overpowering, as you mentioned, but throwing strikes and throwing off-speed pitches and a breaking ball will keep the batters on their toes.
Chopper to short, takes a nice hop there, and firing across, getting the out is Halverson. So 2 gone in the bottom of the first, and Ben Wallin will be the hitter.
Good fundamentals there by Halverson. That ball took a nice little cherry hop. He knew he had time, so he took a nice skip crow hop and fired it over nice and easy over to first base to get that out. Didn't rush it, didn't take too much time. It was fundamentally sound play there.
Wallin hitting at .296 this season. Off speed there is over for a strike, and you can boost confidence too when you can throw your breaking balls for strikes, not just as something to show them different, but you can also get a strike out of it. Sliced foul there. In the dirt there as he tries to get Willeen to chase that one. And another one missing way off the plate, so 2-2.
Yeah, it was the first breaking ball. He really didn't get close to the plate. That one was a little inside. Still had a really sharp break. I think he just started it off too far inside and down in the zone. Just had no chance to tempt the batter on that one.
And that's a fair ball. A long throw required and made, and a nice scoop as well, as it's dug out there by Lindquist on a long throw across from Holton. So nice defense to end the inning for the Eagles. Hopkins, no runs, no hits, and no one left in the first. We go to inning number 2, and no score on the board here at Hopkins.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
We head to the top of the second here. It will be Lindquist, Rogg, and Holton to bat for Totino Grace. Each pitcher getting his feet wet nicely with a 1-2-3 first inning here. So we'll lean back out there for Hopkins. Besides the fact that it gives these guys a chance to get some innings, you also, you're kind of hoping that each of them can give you, maybe 4 or 5 innings at least to not tax the rest of the staff too much when you get ready, kind of getting back into conference play.
Yeah, it's the coach's challenge is to keep their top players, active and fresh, but also you want to keep them in the game so they don't get bored. But you definitely want to give other players an opportunity to show that they can step up and be key contributors throughout the season.
Lindquist, a foul pop, and it's going to get out of play over there near the Royals dugout. Hunter hitting at .255 this year. Leads the team with 10 runs batted in, a couple of home runs to his credit, and a double. Good size first baseman. Made a nice scoop on that long throw to end the Royals half of the first there.
Yeah, both teams had pretty efficient first innings, and that play to end the first inning. Nice range by the third baseman, about as long of a throw as you can possibly make, and finish it up with a good scoop over at first by Lindquist.
Rip and a miss, and I always feel like that's kind of the overlooked part of baseball that you don't talk about first, but just making those routine and slightly above routine plays like the ended there. You never know what happens the rest of the inning if they don't get that out.
Yeah, and it can be a mental drain for the rest of the team, too. If that player doesn't make it, they start to overthink it. The rest of the team doesn't have confidence sometimes in the players, and they start to worry if that's going to happen to them the next time the ball is hit to them. Because that's the mentality you want as a fielder, is you want to be anticipating the ball is going to be hit to you every play. And to be confident is a key part of the game.
Breaking ball there, tapped into the Hopkins dugout. These teams did not meet a year ago, but it sounds as though they plan to kind of resume playing. They had played some years back and looking to fill out with, in particular for Totino Grace being the Northwest Suburban, a big league. They don't have that many non-conference opportunities. Grounder to third, and they throw across in time as Schwartz gobbles that one up. So one gone here in the second, and Will Rogg, the DH, will step in for Totino Grace.
Jay, we were just talking about the fundamentals. If you watch Schwartz here, that ball hits the lip and stays down. He did a good job as the third baseman to stay down on the ball and field it. You don't want to be keeping your glove up and stabbing down at the ball. You want to strike your glove on the ground and then come up with the ball. In that case, the ball stayed on the ground, so he kept his glove down and made a good solid throw over to first to get the out.
Pitch inside for a ball there. Rogg hitting at .304 this season for Grace. He has 2 homers to his credit, 9 runs batted in, scored 8 times. Takes that one in the dirt. 2-0 count here to Rogg. It's early in the game, but we've seen pretty good discipline at the plate by both teams. Nobody really swinging at bad balls. That one lifted to center, but it'll hang up and playable there for Cook. 2 gone here in the top of the second, and Nick Holton will be the batter. There was a little bit of excitement on that Grace bench when that ball was hit, but it did not carry. The wind knocked it down, and pretty easy play actually as it turned out for the center fielder.
Yeah, it was can of corn didn't go too high. It was hit very solid, but it was hit right at the center fielder. Rogg did a nice job of staying back on his back leg and driving through that ball. Had good solid contact, but it just didn't have enough altitude to get over the center fielder's head.
Strike there taken by Nick Holton, who is hitting at .216 on the year, but like his teammate Nielsen, the on-base percentage looks not bad, .442, because he's walked 14 times. But he takes 2 strikes in a row here from Wallin. Slices that one foul.
Good solid breaking ball by Wallin there on that part of the count. He had a pitch to waste, but he kept it up and in, and it had a solid break at the last second until pitch to hit. Hey, rip one, kid.
Coach Berger from Hopkins was talking about, it's a kind of a fine line between you want your team to play a lot of tough games, but at the same time you don't want them to, hang their heads now and start to kind of check out mentally after this many losses. But he didn't really indicate that he thought that was the case. So, and some of those games were pretty close games. I mean, Minnetonka's ranked #1. They played them to a 2-1 game. First time they played them. Second time wasn't as close, but.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a tough challenge as a coach, but you got to keep your team motivated and energized. And like we were talking about, they may have lost 8 straight, but everybody gets in the playoffs, and everybody has a chance to, put together a solid streak. And taking those 8 games and figuring out what worked and what didn't work, and trying to improve is the key there. You don't want to sit there and sulk on the bad experience of losing 8 straight, but you do want to learn, what worked, what didn't work. So when you get into that similar situation, it is 2-1. In the section playoffs, and you're up against Minnetonka or Wayzata or whoever it may be, you're mentally prepared and you're able to execute when the time comes.
Holton drives this one well out to right field, but it's going to hang up again. And the catch made there by Jensen. So Holton lines out, probably the best hit ball of the game so far. But the Eagles go down quickly, 1-2-3 in the second. No runs, no hits, and no one left. We'll be right back with the bottom of the second here on 12 Sports.
An eating disorder, having another person inside your head. It kind of built this wall around me.
The main thing that we needed was hope.
Your age, your gender, your ethnicity. Eating disorders don't discriminate. They can strike anyone. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
We go to the bottom of the second here, and Hopkins will have the 4, 5, 6 hitters stepping up. Alex Schwartz, the third baseman, will lead things off. And he hits this ball pretty solid out to center field, and fighting the wind out there to stay with it is Nielsen. And so Schwartz flies out to begin the bottom of the second. He hit that ball pretty decent too. And it is a somewhat breezy day out here, and you could see Nielsen, I don't want to say having trouble, but he was fighting the sun and wind a little bit to make sure that he stayed with that one.
Yeah, I was surprised how far that ball went. He didn't look to have solid contact on it. Kind of threw his bat out there, but it carried out there pretty far.
Tommy Oth takes a strike here for the Royals. He's been called up after performing well on the lower level. Getting his first chance here. And Coach Berger saying that, there are a couple guys that like that, where they, when playing on a younger level, and it felt like it's important that if you really work hard and play well, that, you reward those guys maybe with a chance at the varsity level.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it happens at the younger level, at the younger age too. You want to show, when fourth graders play up with fifth graders, it gives them that sense of confidence that they can play at the next level. And that happens all throughout high school, whether it's, here at Hopkins, or Totino Grace. It could be freshmen playing up with the varsity levels. It could be eighth graders sometimes. And you want to give players who perform an opportunity, and that's how you build a program too. Is if you're struggling, you want to bring up young players who have a little bit of fire and can jump in there, and maybe they develop early, so it carries over for the next few years in the program.
Just missing high with that fastball, as Eichton thought that one might have been in a good spot there, but 3-2 count now to Oth, trying to become the first base runner of the game. And not going to happen as he swings and misses. First strikeout for Eichton, and 2 gone, and Morgan Holmes will be the batter.
Yeah, solid pitching there. Good pitch across the plate. Looks like a little bit of change of pace, and you take a little bit off and you get the batter jumping at that ball, and all of a sudden they're ahead of the pitch and they miss the ball.
Morgan Holmes hitting at 250 for the Royals. Eight hits and 32 at bats. That one nips the outside corner.
If you're a pitcher and you're consistently around the plate, you're going to get those kind of calls. You're showing control, you're nibbling on the edges of the plate, and that ball's just off the outside corner, but he's been consistently around the plate, so I think he's getting those calls.
And that one rattled the cage a little bit of the home plate umpire as it was fouled into his mask.
This is one of those little courtesy things in baseball when, when something like that happens to an umpire, you want to show courtesy and give him a little time, and they may not need it. It doesn't look like he does, but it gives them a little time to relax and, talk to their players as the umpire kind of regains his composure.
Look at that foul ball, and that's got to jar you a little bit. Catchers and umpires have have each other's back on that kind of thing, because obviously it happens to catchers a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good sign for both teams to take a little time there, and you don't want to have the umpire request time for something that they may not necessarily need, and teams don't want them to act like they're slowing up the game, so they slow up the game, give the umpire the time that they want, and now we're back to the game.
1-2 pitch here, and Holmes able to lay off that one, so it's 2-2. And a little pop up here. It'll stay in the infield, and Holton is underneath it. And 6 up and 6 down now for Eichton. No runs, no hits, and no one left for Hopkins in the second. We are still scoreless as we head to inning 3 here on 12 Sports.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Will, for example. His first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. He's learning production skills and now has access to cutting-edge equipment. He's working on local music productions, meeting new people, and gaining experience needed to produce his own show. Best of all, he's sharing his passion for music with others in his community. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
We head to the top of the third here at Hopkins High School. Totino Grace will have the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up. Both pitchers have retired all 6 men they have faced here so far in these first couple innings. So Ryan Johnson, the left fielder, leading it off for Grace here in this third inning. Ryan hitting at .278 so far. 3 runs scored, 4 driven in, a couple of extra base hits, both doubles. And this one is hit out to center, but again, it's going to be right at the outfielder, and Cook hardly had to move. So Johnson is quickly retired, 1 gone, and Jacob Zerbe will be the hitter.
Yeah, nice swing by Johnson. That ball a little bit up in the zone, but I think it caught the outside, or the end of the bat, so he didn't get it in the sweet spot of the barrel there. Kind of this easy fly out to the center fielder.
Interesting that both these pitchers, they've done a nice job, but I think, you know, neither of them real hard thrower. I think probably the hitters are watching and thinking, you know, we should be getting to this guy a little bit, or at least making hard contact. But first time through, at least so far, both have been solid.
Yeah, very highly efficient frames for both pitchers in these first 2 innings. And you know, I think second time through the order, these batters will get a chance to, you know, readjust. And both teams have played pretty tough schedules, so they're seeing pretty hard throwers usually throughout the season thus far. And you know, adjusting to a pitcher that throws at a different velocity it takes a couple swings, takes a couple of bats.
Knocked down to short, and Matt Shaw flawless on that one. So Zerbe retired 6-3, and Ryan Hall will be the batter now for Totino Grace.
Again, fundamentally sound, nice solid scoop up, easy throw over to first, and both these pitchers are doing what they're supposed to do. You know, let the defense make their plays and continually throw strikes.
Misses inside there. Just got a piece of that one.
Now we're seeing a little courtesy play by the umpire, taking his time, walking the ball to the pitcher. As that one got a little bit of the catcher as a foul tip. I think it caught his hand. And the catcher's pretty durable. And sometimes you can never really tell how hard the ball hits and how much damage it is until they actually get out of the inning and they look at their hand and there might be a nice solid bruise there.
Trainer did take a quick look at the umpire between innings there after he took one off the mask. Swing and a miss by Hall, and I think the mask got driven back into his chin area or something on that foul ball. Like he might have had a little bit of blood, but you know, as good as those masks have become, it still can be pretty jarring to take a foul ball off that.
Yeah, I mean, when the ball's coming in, when it goes off a bat, it's a fraction of a second, and you're not sure where it's going to go. Anything that goes up near your face and you know your eyes and you hear it, it's a quick thing for anybody who hasn't experienced it. You just think, well, it's a hit in the head, but a lot of sound goes in there and it rattles around and you don't expect it. I mean, how many times do we see a pitch go across the plate? It doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden it happens and you're not expecting it. And you can't be expecting it because then you'll be playing and umpiring and officiating the game in a different way and not the way that you should be.
Up the middle here, and another solid play defensively for Shaw and the Royals. So Totino done in the third, no runs, no hits, and no one left on. We head to the bottom of 3. Still are scoreless here between the Eagles and the Royals on 12 Sports.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy! Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
We go to the bottom of the third here, and Hopkins will have the bottom part of their order coming up. Matt Shaw, the shortstop, will lead it off here for the Royals against Nathan Eichten, the Totino Grace righty, and both pitchers have just been solid, recording outs, using their defense a little bit, and have not had a base runner yet.
Yeah, not a picturesque day. A little chilly when the clouds are out, but no bugs, no rain, a little breeze. Plenty of sunshine. It's a perfect day for a little baseball.
That's surprising how much the temperature changed, though, when the sun goes behind the clouds. It seems like the wind kicks up, too, and it's a little bit cooler then. High chopper to second. Might be a tough play, but a nice job handling that kind of in-between hop by Zerbe, and he gets to it and throws Shaw out. And there's a spot when you're glad you're the second baseman, too. After you make a pretty tough pickup, you're only about 10 feet or so from the first base bag.
Yeah, and something that a lot of people don't think about is that throw has to be on spot because he's so close. There's not much time for the first baseman to react. If he throws that down by his knees, the first baseman might not make that play. But good play by Zerbe to throw it right to the first baseman's mitt and not make him try and adjust his glove.
Here's Max Wiesner driving it a long way down the right field line, and it hangs up and is caught by Hall in foul ground. So quickly 2 outs. Guys generally swinging fairly early in the count and putting it in play. And you see right down the line here and just into foul ground, catch made there. So Alex Bowers, the left fielder, steps in. Bowers hitting .250 on the year. 5 out of 20. 1 double to his credit.
Yeah, I think we'll start to see some more swings earlier in the count as these teams continue to work their way through the order. And the word spreads that the pitcher's throwing strikes. Get up there and you know he has a curveball, he has a nice fastball, and he's been around the plate most of the time. So go ahead and start taking some hacks. And I think the second time through the order for both these teams, we're going to see some solid hits. Solid contact. I don't know. Depending on the hits we'll see. We haven't seen many yet.
Catches the inside corner there. He'd been working him away, and you saw Bowers kind of lift the arms there, but it was over the inner half of the plate, so Eichten gets the count to 2-2. And fights this one off. It'll be fouled on the left field line on a pitch in.
Yeah, I mean, not the prettiest of swings, but he stays alive. 2-2 count. That ball was pretty close to the plate, a good breaking ball. It looked like it was probably going to be in the strike zone, so you don't necessarily have to hit it as hard as you possibly can and square it up, but you definitely do want to fight it off and get another pitch to see.
Hit hard to third. Oh, a nice backhand play, and the throw is on target. The defense just keeps getting better. Nick Holton, a strong play there for Grace, and the Royals are done in the third. No runs, no hits, and no one left on. We are at 0-0 through 3 innings here at Hopkins.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Not much offense, in fact, none so far here, as both pitchers and both defenses have done the job so far. As we head to inning number 4, it'll be the top of the order now for Grace, Nolan Nielsen, Kyle Halverson, and Jens Radicek to step in and hit. And Drew, you and I both feel that, you know, probably things might be a little different second time around. At least the hitters are hoping so.
Yeah, both pitchers have been consistently around the plate. They haven't been wild. They've been throwing strikes and letting the fielders make their plays. We haven't seen too many balls hit very hard, so I think the second time through, the batters are going to make a nice adjustment. We'll see how they fare at the plate.
Nielsen takes a strike. He struck out, as we saw in the first. He's the only strikeout that Molina's recorded so far. Up high with that fastball. And there's a strike. We said Nielsen has walked quite a few times this year, trying to do his best to be selective up here, but Wallin is not doing him a lot of favors here, as he's got him behind 1-2. Curveball back up the middle, and that one might be our first hit, and it will be. Infield single there for Nielsen, as Wallin got out of the way of that one, drilled at his feet. Pretty nice pickup and play ultimately by the shortstop, but just no time to get him for Shaw.
Yeah, that ball hit fairly solid up the box, but that second and third hop, that ball just died. And shortstop just wasn't able to have enough range to get in there and field it quickly enough to get a good solid throw over to first. Good attempt, but blame that one on the grass, I think.
Halverson will be the hitter. Nice stop by Wiesner on a pitch well short of the target. Halverson bounced to second base his first time up.
It's always interesting to see how pitchers adjust when they have to go to the stretch. You know, the first 3 innings cruise through for Wallin, you know, going out of the windup, and now he's got to pay attention to run over at first and throw out of the stretch.
Runner is going, and pitch bunted, but it's going to be foul. Halverson not able to keep that ball. Boy, with this grass, I would think you shouldn't have too much trouble deadening the ball. But
yeah,
that
if you
time
put it
not able to put it fair.
Yeah, if you put it in fair play, it's going to sit down. I think that pitch, he almost would have been better off just pulling the bat back, because I think Nielsen had a pretty good jump and was going to be into second base pretty easily.
Yeah, I actually thought he was just, you know, showing bunt to mess with the catcher a little bit there, but actually bunted it and then fouls the next one away.
Yeah, it's one of those little things that batters like to do and teams like to do. Teams that like to run, scrappy teams that like to run, they'll often put a steal sign on, and the bunt, the show of bunt by the batter is automatic. You don't necessarily have to bunt, but what it does to the catcher is it blocks their view of the pitch. It makes them think about extra things that they don't typically think about, and why not, if you're going to take, square on and show bunt, even if you're going to pull back and not lay it down.
See if the Eagles have ideas about getting Nielsen started again here. It's a 1-2 count. Not getting a real big lead, though. Not going. And in the dirt, 2-2.
Yeah, that was next couple of pitches would be a good counter run on, and it'll be important for William to keep the ball out of the dirt to give the catcher a good chance to come up clean and strong throw down to second to get the runner here. William has a pretty quick move over to first, and Nielsen not able to get a large lead, so we'll see how that plays out. Kind of want to see a couple throws and stretch your lead a little bit more.
He is going, and it's fouled away.
Halverson just got a piece of that. That ball was breaking late, and the catcher was coming up to throw it on a second as he came up. I think he would have missed that ball either way.
Not a particularly good jump down there by Nielsen either, though. Fire to first one more time there. Taken for a ball there.
Good pitch there. Wallin wanted that one. That was right off the outside corner of the plate, right at the knees. Tough pitch to lay off, but work the count full with a runner on first. We'll see something happen here.
Yeah, I gotta believe he'll be taking off on this one. He is. Down to short. They'll get the out at first, but by starting Nielsen, they avoid any chance for the double play there. So Halverson is out 6-3, and moving into scoring position is Nielsen.
Not the prettiest of plays, but he got the job done. Go back a couple pitches, tried to lay down that bunt to get the runner over to second. In the end, a few pitches later, that's what he ended up doing.
So Radicek will be the batter. He grounded to short his first time up. Looks at ball one.
You know, we haven't seen a lot of hits today. Only the one, but it will be important for the runner at second to get a good, solid secondary lead on the pitch after the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, because the ball is not going too far if it hits the grass. And most balls will probably come up short in front of the infielders or outfielders, and they'll have a shorter throw.
So Aline falls behind in the count here, 2-0, and Radicek trying to knock in the first run of the game here for the Eagles. Takes a strike. And misses away with that one. So 3-1 count now to Radicek with Lindquist on deck here for Totino Grace. Game that's been all pitching and defense so far until this inning when Nielsen had an infield hit and then moved to second on a ground out. Chopper right at the plate, foul.
Good job there by Wallin to stay focused and don't fall too far behind this batter and give up a free base on balls. You don't want to issue a first walk and put two runners on. Give the batter a chance to hit the ball, and you've seen your defense be solid this afternoon.
Breaking ball knocked out of play down the first base side and off the school building. Another full count pitch, and that's ball four. So Radicek works out a 1-out walk. And so the cleanup man Lindquist will come up. I think we'll see a courtesy runner perhaps here at first base. And we will for Totino. It's number 2, Mason Schuler.
Yeah, good at bat by Radicek there to take a couple pitches that were pretty close and stay alive and on a couple of those foul balls and work out the walks. So now the Eagles have 2 runners on after not getting anybody on base in the first couple innings.
Strike taken here by Lindquist, who bounced to third in his first time up. Chops to third again, knocked down, and no play available, as Schwartz will have to just eat it. Not an easy chance, but I guess you have to score that as an E5. And I think he was, initially thinking, I'm going to get the force play at third here, and then he just really kind of had to block it with his chest. Pretty good jump by the lead runner Nielsen too here. You see he's by right there, and there's no opportunity for any play late there.
Yeah, Schwartz was kind of stuck in a tough spot where he wasn't sure if he was going to scoop that ball and charge it, or if he was going to try and get two. And at the last second, he blocked the ball. But in the end, it ended up being important that he blocked the ball, kept it in front of him, because if that ball scoots by, Totino puts a run on the board pretty easily.
See Will Rogg flied out his first time up. A great chance here with the bases loaded. Takes a strike.
If you're Wallin, you still want to continue to throw strikes. Nothing too hard has been hit. The runners on haven't been nothing impressive. Keep throwing strikes and have confidence in your defense.
Rip and a miss. Hopkins keeping the middle infield back. They'd like to try and turn two on something hit right to them. Corner infielders up a little bit and would probably come home on anything hit right at them. 1-2 pitch in the dirt, and Wiesner blocking that one. And it's confidence in your catcher too there, because obviously if that gets all the way by, it's going to be a run most likely.
Yeah, good job by Wiesner. The first thing he did is he dropped to his knees and put his chest out to block that ball and kept it out in front of him.
Rogg fights that one off.
Yeah, key point in the game here. Bases loaded, 1 out. Good chance for Totino Grace, but 1 pitch and Hopkins could be out of this too.
And there's a called third strike on the outer half. Rogg, I think, thought it was just outside, and umpire rings him up. So 2 outs now, and Nick Holton will be the hitter.
Yeah, tough pitch to take. It was a little up in the zone, a little off the plate. But if you're Wallin, you take that risk and you stretch the zone a little bit and try and throw that strikeout off the outside upper part of the plate and get the second out here in the 4th inning.
Nick Holton is the batter now, and he chops it foul into the Hopkins dugout. Lined one out to right field his first time up. So the Eagles get a good opportunity here and now try not to squander it. Bases full now and 2 outs. Wallin, meanwhile, trying to work his way out of trouble. To third, Schwartz this time up with it, and he will win the race to the bag, and they do escape trouble in the 4th. For Totino Grace, they do get the first hit of the game. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 error committed by the Royals, and they leave 3. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless here at Hopkins High School.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
We are at 0-0 heading to the bottom of the 4th. Totino Grace did get the first 3 base runners of the game, but they were not able to bring any of them across in the top of the 4th. So Hopkins looking for their first base runner here, and the top of the order is up. John Cook leading it off. And did that hit him? Not quite.
Just missed him. Good job by Cook to turn that inside shoulder in. If he would have opened up his body, he could have hit him right in the chest.
And he smokes this one to left, and that'll be down for a hit and extra bases. Cook digging into second, and he will have a stand-up double to begin the fourth. And we were talking about how we'll see the second time around if these hitters adjust, and that time Cook drilling the best hit ball of the game, and he finds himself on second base.
Yeah, good solid job to stay behind that ball, stay back on the ball, and drive it to left field. And as he hit that, he turned it over, and it was tailing towards the line. It was tough play for the left fielder to get over there to field the ball, short off the fence, and stand-up double as a leadoff fourth inning for the Royals here.
Pitcher number 18, Ben Wally.
And he was close to beating that one out, but the Eagles do get one out on the play anyway, and Ben Wallin will be the hitter.
Yeah, good range by the third baseman to run in and field that ball, get the out at first base. That was a perfect sacrifice bunt, almost turned into a base hit.
You know, we talked about how that grass has really been slowing everything down. There's a strike. Totino Grace does have the infield up here, of course, with a runner at third down, one out. Wayne hit it to the third baseman his first time up. And does so again here. Holton makes a bare hand grab. Then the throw is high, but they still get the tag. Lindquist able to make the play as he had to jump to come off the bag, but then swept the glove hand across the runner. He was not intending to bare hand this one. It just took a funny hop on him. And he just got that tag across.
Yeah, great play to use that like non-glove hand and field that ball, do anything you can and get that ball over to first base to get the out. Huge out, bang bang play for the runner. You know, if the ball's not hit that hard, if you break on contact, you still might get thrown at home. So you want to make a smart decision and not run yourself out of this inning.
Alex Schwartz, the hitter, and he takes a strike. Way outside, it's off the glove. Here comes the runner to the plate, Cook, and he will be in with the first run of the game. It's 1-0 Hopkins.
Well, in the end, they got their run. It wasn't what they were expecting to do, but they took advantage of a wild pitch, and as that ball scooted back to the backstop, run comes in to put Hopkins on the board.
Luckily, Radicek's throw didn't hit the runner here as he kind of flung it disgustedly over there, and sliding in safely is Cook, so Schwartz now hitting, nobody on base, but that one run has come in for Hopkins. Rip and a miss. In the dirt to Schwartz there, so 2-2. Hits it hard, and that one's going to get through. Schwartz delivering a hard hit ball, called that one a base hit. A tough chance for Halverson to try and flag it down.
Yeah, Schwartz put the barrel of the bat on that one, hit it pretty hard, and short hop the shortstop, and it would have been a tough play to get the out even if he does come up clean, because he's deep in the hole on that play.
So call it a base hit, and here's Tommy Oth stepping in for Hopkins. He drills it, but foul down the third base way.
Yeah, we're seeing the batters sit back a little bit more, wait for that pitch to get deep into the zone and sit back and try and drive it. Still a little bit ahead on that one.
Getting back to what they were saying earlier about Eichten, got to make sure to keep that ball down. A couple of these, that last one definitely was up. Or the hard hit ball by Schwartz there anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to be able to keep that ball down in the zone. Makes it tougher for hitters to drive that ball, keep it up by their waist. It's an easier plane to swing that bat on.
And this one poked into short center. That'll be a base hit. Schwartz will hang on at second, so Oth delivering a single.
Yeah, good little piece of hitting. Don't have to hit every ball as hard as you possibly can. He kind of stepped out of the bucket and was going to drive that, but that ball was outside and low, and he stuck his bat out and poked it over the second baseman's head.
You know, the second time around, everything, you know, the first time was going at a fielder, and now things evening out a little bit here. Morgan Holmes, the hitter, first and second, and 2 gone. And that one is in the dirt. Radicek the block. Not going to have a play, and the runners will move up. So we're seeing both pitchers be faced with a little adversity here in this 4th inning.
You know, things change when you get a runner on. You have to pay attention. It's not as easy to just focus on throwing strikes and get that ball to the plate. You have to throw out of the stretch sometimes. You have to be paying attention to a runner trying to deke you and show you if they're stealing or not. You got to pay attention to that. You got to rush the ball to the plate. And we've seen for both teams, getting a runner on has created some opportunity.
Pounded to short, and it hits the runner, and it'll be out. So the inning comes to an end in a strange fashion there, but the Royals do break through with the first run of the game. 1 run on 3 base hits. And a couple left on base as we have completed 4 here at Hopkins High School. It's 1-0 Royals.
Volunteering is more than just a word. It's a window to opportunities. Take Mark, for example. By taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television, Mark is helping bring entertainment and information to his community, along with building a foundation of skills that will take him one step closer to his dreams. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
We head to inning number 5 here. Totino Grace now trailing at 1-0. They'll have the bottom third of their order up against Ben Wallin as Ryan Johnson gets set to step in here for Grace. Very uneventful first 3 innings as both pitchers and their infielders and in a couple occasions outfielders just made plays and got outs quickly. But the 4th inning, things changed around a little bit.
Yeah, both teams got runners on and tried to force some action, and in the end, Hopkins came out with the lone run of the game thus far.
Drilled to left field, and that'll be a fair ball, and Ryan Johnson will have potentially 2 here as he digs in, and he will be in with a double to start the 5th for Totino Grace.
Good hustle to get down second base after he stays back and drives that ball down the left field line. Ball up in the zone. A good sweet spot swing to get that ball to left field and hustle down to second and lead off double. Creates a lot of opportunity and a lot of options here for Totino Grace.
Zerbe will be the batter now for the Eagles. Squares. Ooh, boy, the runner was really going there. Not quite in time as Johnson was about halfway to third. He was a little over-eager there, expecting that bunt to go down.
Yeah, Coach says, use your head over there. Don't get caught off too far. And that was really close to being a nice pickoff play by Hopkins, but just in time.
Zerbe the bunt, and it'll be foul. Looked like Wiesner wanted to play that ball, not let it go foul, but
yeah, it was close. It looked like he almost put his glove on it to scoop it up, but I think in the end, It was the right decision to let it go foul, because that would have been a tough play over at first, and the run was down at third by that time. If they're going to give you an out, you definitely want to get the out. You don't want to give a free sacrifice bunt turn into a base hit.
Gets this one down. Moline will go to first, and easily advancing to third is Johnson.
Good execution by both teams there, laying down the bunt right back to the pitcher. Didn't rush it, took his time, turned, step and throat. You get the first out. You know, sometimes you just have to eat it. You're not going to make that play at third. Don't try and force anything, and make sure you get that sure out.
Ryan Hall is the batter here for Grace. Hall bounced out to short his first time up. Lifted to center. Let's see if this is deep enough to score a run. The catch made. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it is in time. Wiesner, the tag, Cook, the throw. And they get Johnson trying to score to end the inning. So a nice defensive play gets Hopkins out of it. No runs, one hit. No errors, and no one left on base for the Eagles in the fifth. It is 1-0 Hopkins.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
We go to the bottom of the fifth. The 7-8-9 hitters coming for Hopkins. Matt Shaw steps in to lead it off and takes ball one up high. He bounced to the second baseman his first time up. And that one nips the outside corner.
Both teams getting what they were hoping for out of these pitchers today, getting solid innings, good strikes, staying ahead in the count for the most part and letting their defense make plays.
Pretty well hit to left center field, and that one will be down for a hit. Shaw will hang on with a single. You can just hear by the sound of the bat that these guys are making, better contact in their second time up for the most part.
Yeah, there weren't that many balls that were hit very solid in the first 3 innings, but the second time through the order, both teams have shown that they can put the bat on the ball and get some solid contact.
The catcher Wiesner will step in here now for Hopkins against Nathan Eichten. He shows bunt and gets a good one down. Uh-oh, and Radicek is run into by the third baseman. Nobody covering third initially, and so not only will they get the runner over, they will get Wiesner to first base. Hard to say what to call this one because Radicek got run into by his teammate here.
Yeah, I think it was just miscommunication. Both were trying to make a play run at the ball, and they weren't able to communicate enough to call each other off. And in the end, they both just collided, and the ball stayed where it was. And Hopkins has 2 runners on with nobody out.
Give Wiesner a charitable base hit then, and Bowers now will drop down a bunt. Little bobble, but they still get the out at first, just barely on the throw of the first baseman reaching over Bowers.
Very close
Or
play
second
over at
baseman,
first.
actually.
Very close play. Another solid bunt. It's one a little easier, but you see he rushes the pickup, and that makes him rush and throw it on to first. But they do get the out. After a couple bunts, now Hopkins has 2 runners on in scoring position with a good chance to take a decent lead in this game late.
And Cook scorched a double last time up and has scored the only run of the game, and a great chance for him here, second and third, 1 out. Slices it a long way foul down the right field line.
Good pitch by Eichen there, stay off the plate. Not the end of the world if you walk this batter. You know, you just keep the force play intact. I mean, you can set up the force play, and you know, Cook had a solid at bat last time, so you don't want to give him anything easy to hit.
Comes back inside with that one and gets him to foul it away. Infield, he is up all the way around here on the edge of the grass for Totino Grace, not wanting to fall behind any farther than they are. And he's able to squeeze it through that drawn-in infield. 1 run is in. They're going to hold the second runner. And the throw cut off on the mound. So Shaw is in to score. Cook drives in a run. 2-0 Royals.
Good job by Cook to stay back on that ball, drive it as it's deep in the box, put it right up the middle of the infield, and tough play for the infielders as they were up and in. And Hopkins did a nice job of not trying to force the issue and run yourselves out of an inning. So you keep a couple runners on here, and you, with a good solid throw at home, that would have been a close play. So now they keep that runner at third.
Don Roney, the pitching coach, going to come out and talk to Eichten right here for Totino Grace.
You know, a close game, it's 2-0. Not a lot of runs have been scored, not a lot of base runners thus far. In the past couple innings, we've seen some base runners, but early on, we didn't see any base runners. So you definitely want to make sure everybody's on the same page with runners on first and third. Hopkins can, you know, they might do anything to get that third run across the plate.
Another look at this one coming right back up the middle, and again, hard to say for sure, but if you're playing back, you know, there's at least more of a chance to get to it, although I don't think they would have probably on that ball anyway.
Yeah, I think Halverson makes that play if he's back, but the run still scores. The run will still score if he's playing back. So maybe keep the runner at second, but.
Here's Jensen lining one to right field, and a step in, the catch made, but it'll be a sacrifice fly as Wiesner comes around to score. That ball definitely misjudged a little bit by Hall out there, but he did a good job getting back to it. And the tag up is good for a run for Hopkins, and they go up 3-0.
Yeah, he definitely came in a few steps, anticipating that ball not to be hit that hard, and you want to make a play at home. But in the end, he made the right play, backed up, made the out, and I don't think he makes that. He doesn't get a chance to throw the runner out either way. If he's thrown there, if he's coming in with the ball as he's catching it, that's just too deep. It was a good solid hit to right field.
Yeah, the misjudging of the ball really didn't affect the outcome of that play at all. Wallin has gone to the third baseman twice, and one more time here. This one a tougher chance, though, and Holton not able to come up with it. And Wallin will be aboard on the error.
Even if Holton does come up with this ball clean, it's going to be a tough play at first, but I think that's another result of this thick grass. That ball does not bounce that much. You see it bounce a couple times, and it just dies. I mean, it goes down to the ground, doesn't come back up. And as that ball slows down, it's going to be harder for it to come back up towards the glove, and you got to stay down. Tough play.
Looked like he pulled his head up a little bit looking at the runner there. And in the dirt, runner is going. Radicek's going to throw to third, and not quite in time. It wasn't a for sure go there, but Cook takes off and makes it.
Good solid throw down to third, but good slide and a good break as that ball was in the dirt. Allowed the runner to get down there and beat the throw.
So Alex Schwartz, the hitter, single last time up. Chance to really break this one open here. Runners at second and third. And takes a strike. Royals have already put 2 on the board in the inning to go up 3-0.
Good job by the catcher there to sacrifice his body. You don't necessarily need to come up clean with the ball every time with the runner at third. What you want to do is you want to slide out, keep those knees in the ground, and use your chest as a blocker.
Same thing again. This time he has a little trouble finding the ball, but runner not coming.
Yeah, another solid block. That ball down in the dirt. Went straight down to his knees and blocked it. Scooted away. It was a tough, close call for the runner to make. He was about halfway down to 3/4 down the line before he retreated back to third base.
Yeah, when all is said and done, he probably would have scored because the pitcher ran to the ball, too. He didn't cover the plate. But you can't know that for sure. And Schwartz draws a walk here for the Royals, and they are loaded up now with 2 outs for Tommy Oth. Eichton's done a nice job, but you have to think, you know, could be a hit away from being lifted here, perhaps.
Yeah, especially you know, not having a run on the board for Totino. If you give up a hit here, you're probably going to be down 5-0.
Oth takes that ball up high. Way outside.
Been a long inning for Totino Grace. Quite a few runners on, giving up a couple runs, and Eichton just wants to get out of this without any further damage.
Yeah, this is a spot where, you know, even if you give up something hard hit, but right to your guy, you'll live with it. You would just want to squirm out of this any way you can. There's a strike. And strike 2. Pound to the left side. That's going to be through for a hit. 1 run in. Here comes the second runner. The throw to the plate is not in time. Throw to third now is in time. So 2 runs will score on the play for Hopkins, and then Schwartz is cut down trying to go to third. So the Royals, with a big 4-run inning, they will take a 5-0 lead here through 5 on 12 Sports.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy! Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
Volunteering is more than just a word. It's a window to opportunities. Take Mark, for example. By taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television, Mark is helping bring entertainment and information to his community, along with building a foundation of skills that will take him one step closer to his dreams. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Canine fan on hand here at Hopkins as the Royals have kind of blown this one open, leading it now 5-0. Couple more at bats here for Totino Grace as Hopkins trying to break a losing streak in impressive fashion here. They've lost 8 games in a row, but playing solid here. Both pitchers kind of breezed through the first 3 innings, and then things got more interesting in the 4th. And again, continuing in the 5th there for Hopkins as they push 4 runs across. So it'll be Nielsen, Halverson, and Radicek for Grace in the 6th.
Big inning for Hopkins there. See how they do coming back into the field. It was a long time at bat, and Totino Grace is probably fired up and want to put the bat on the ball and get some runners on.
Lifted out to right field and playable. And so Nielsen is gone on one pitch here to start the 6th. You know, kind of interesting. We said, you know, maybe not a big rivalry game or anything, but you got a couple things where you kind of respect. Hopkins sees that Totino Grace is in the top 10, so that probably gets them a little bit fired up. And meanwhile, Hopkins being in the Lake Conference has that mystique, so anytime you're playing anybody in any sport that's part of that elite group, you kind of, you know, catches your attention a little bit too.
Yeah, definitely. Totino Grace wants to show the Lake that they can come in here and beat one of these teams that plays in the Lake. And you know, it may not be Minnetonka or Wayzata this afternoon, but they could show they can beat Hopkins and they can play with teams in the Lake.
Pounded foul here, so Wallin has continued to throw pretty well. I mean, he's given up a couple hard hit balls, probably that double to start the 5th more so than any, but they got a nice, you know, nice double play to get them out of that 5th inning. That kind of gives him a boost, I imagine, too. Oops, hits him in the back right there.
Not what you're trying to do with an 0-2 count. You can tell right away the ball is way inside, a breaking ball, and just caught him right in the back. Any way you can get on base, you want to get on base for Totino Grace here.
You see Halverson, he knew it was going to hit him and just was able to hold his body in there and take it. Throw to first is low. Oth going to have to hustle, and the runner is trying to advance. And he's out at second. Great catch to hang on to that low throw. The ball skipping in the dirt. And Shaw, despite being slid into hard, able to hang on. Probably not a great gamble there by Halverson, and I'm not just saying that in hindsight. It didn't look like it got away far enough when you're down 5-0 to go for it.
Yeah, good play by the shortstop to stay in there and field that ball and get the tag down.
It was an awkward end, you know, it ended up being an awkward tag because of how he had to field it. And I'm sure Halverson probably thinking, you know, maybe did my feet get in there all the way first, but held on to and a nice job. And those are the kind of little plays you make that really can give a pitcher a shot in the arm too. Rip and a miss there on a high fastball. The 1-2 to Radicek. And strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Wallin, so they get out of the inning with no trouble, no runs, no hits. And courtesy of that throw out on the runner on second, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of 6. It's still 5-0 Royals.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
We go to the bottom half of inning number 6, and the new pitcher for Totino Grace as Joe Pink will come in. This is his second appearance of the season. He's just pitched 1 inning so far and allowing 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. So He will come on in relief of Eichton, who worked the first 5. Was quite effective for a good chunk of that, but then they got to him with 7 hits and 5 runs in those last 2 innings.
Yeah, the second time through the order, Hopkins was able to sit back on the ball with Eichton. The first time through, they were jumping ahead of things and staying off balance. And we saw the difference there in the 5th inning as Hopkins was able to put 4 on the board and jump onto a 5-0 lead here.
Strike taken here as Morgan Holmes steps in. He is 0 for 2.
Good hard fastball there by Pink. Second strike, he's throwing a little fastball right off the outside corner.
And I think the hitter is saying, you're right with the off the corner there. I'm not so sure about that one. Lifted foul. There's quite a bit of room and foul ground here, but it'll get out of play. You see Grace had a bunch of guys out in the bullpen, and at first it looked like they were going to try and catch a ball, and boy, that wouldn't be too smart.
No, but these non-conference, you can have some fun out there. It's important to have fun and play around, and you know, if they knew the ball's out of play, they had a better eye on that ball than the second baseman running over there. They had more time to see it. They didn't have to pay attention to their surroundings because they're already that close to the fence and having a little fun with their infield.
To short, takes a nice big hop for Halverson and makes the play. Holmes is gone to begin the 6th, and Matt Shaw will be the hitter now for Hopkins.
That ball hit pretty hard down to shortstop. Took a nice cherry hop for Halverson. Nice job again to do that skip hop and solid throw, chest height over the first baseman.
Shaw singled and scored last inning. And here's a liner that'll be in for a hit. So he's now 2 for 3.
That ball scorched right over the shortstop's head. As you see, it hits the outfield, it just dies. It's almost like it hit a puddle and it didn't continue to go. But got it over the shortstop's head to get on base.
It doesn't really appear that the grass is overly long. It just must be real lush, I guess. Ooh. And this one is driven a long way down the left field line, but foul. As Wiesner turned on that one right away.
Just missed that one. Just missed it. You can see that one just barely foul, almost all the way to the fence on the fly. It's just kept hooking. He was too far ahead of it. And it started off in fair territory and just kept hooking and hooking and hooking into foul territory.
Wiesner 1 for 2, singled and scored last time around. Takes that breaking ball up and in. Ooh, and that one was a fastball up and in.
Yeah, that pitch after that previous one was a breaking ball up and in. That you expect that to do the similar action, but similar motion, but it didn't break. It was a fastball up and in. Kind of caught him off guard.
It's one where you get that little moment of panic as it's kind of coming toward your shoulder and over your shoulder toward your face. So 3-1 count here. Wiesner trying to get aboard against Pink. Pops it up, and it will get out of play. Hopkins has Minneapolis South coming here on Tuesday, and then it's back into Lake Conference play Thursday at Wayzata, and Friday we got Eden Prairie here, and then Grand Rapids here on Saturday, and a walk taken by Wiesner.
It's fun to see those teams from outstate come down to the cities and play some metro teams. Grand Rapids usually has a pretty good baseball program, and it's kind of one of the bigger schools up in the northern part of the state. And you know, to see them come down here and play a metro team is always fun to see.
I think that matchup maybe is happening a little more in various sports because Ann Campbell is the AD up there now in Grand Rapids, who was the softball coach here for a long time. To third, there's one. Relay is in time as they turn the double play. Nicely turned by the Eagles to get out of the 6th inning, so no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left aboard here for Hopkins. We'll go to inning number 7. Hopkins trying to break a long losing streak. They lead it by a score of 5-0.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Totino Grace, one more opportunity. They have not done much offensively, as you see. And Ben Wallin is out there on the hill to try and complete this one for Hopkins. His team has granted him a 5-0 lead, and he's been solid. And Eagles will have their 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up.
Yeah, important for Totino to just focus on one batter at a time. You know, one former broadcaster I used to work with, you can't hit the 5-run home run. Well, no, you can't. You want to get runners on and keep hitting the ball, keep swinging the bat.
To short, and the play made as Shaw continues to be strong. Lindquist is out 6-3 to begin the 7th, and Will Rogg will be the batter now for Grace.
Hopkins doing just a good job doing fundamental baseball, fielding the ball, getting the ball over to first base, nothing too fancy, keeping runners off base.
And there's a foul ball by Rogg. He is 0 for 2.
Yeah, good afternoon for Wallin here. Totino Grace's team is a pretty good lineup. They've had a pretty good season, but Wallin coming out here and throwing strikes and having confidence in his team to back him up when needed.
And it feels like his confidence has grown with this lead and everything too. I mean, they had a little bit of a tough 4th inning, but it seems like he's really coming back, throwing better of late, and he gets the strikeout there.
Yeah, it's much easier to pitch with the lead and a 5-run lead, and not having the innings experience as some other pitchers on this roster. Being given that 4 spot in the 5th inning gave him a little bit of flexibility to get creative with his pitches and stretch the zone out. And
Nick Holton will be the batter. He takes a strike. He is 0 for 2. Breaking ball hangs up a little high, 1-1. There's a strike, and I'm sure Hopkins coaches, they're thinking we want to see what Ben can do, and I'm thinking going to full 7 and maybe a shutout would be quite high on their list for what they would have liked to see today.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more than that. I mean, not giving up a run to a top 10 Metro team here this afternoon, and going after a complete game is got to be a great feeling for both Ben Wallin and the Hopkins entire team.
Lifted out to center field. It'll hang up. Catch made, and the Royals nail down a victory here as they snap that 8-game losing streak. Wallin pitches a scoreless 7th inning, and he had a heck of a ball game. Throws a 2-hit shutout, and getting some congratulations right now from his teammates. So, and kind of maybe throwing it out there that, Coach, I'd like the ball again sometime the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's what you like to see from your non-top starters. You give them a chance to go out there and shine, and they come through and shutting down a Totino Grace team that's had success throughout the early parts of this season, and breaking an 8-game losing streak for this Hopkins Royals team as they head down to the final couple games of the season as the playoff season approaches.
So they got 1 on the 4th and then 4 in the 5th inning to get that 5-0 margin for Hopkins. So they pick up their 5th victory this season, and Totino Grace will drop to 10-6. As we said, a busy week for Hopkins with South, Wayzata, Eden Prairie, and Grand Rapids still to go on the schedule this week. For Totino Grace, they'll be hosting Park Center Tuesday and Andover Thursday, as well as Elk River on Saturday. So hope you enjoyed today's telecast. For Drew Keogh and all the rest of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Your final, Hopkins 5, Totino Grace 0.